Well, what's up guys, and welcome back to Project Time Garage. Well, summer's here and it's hot. It's like, I think they're forecasted to be somewhere around 500 and 600 degrees today. So we're gonna sweat out here, but we're gonna make some content. Since summer's almost here, it's time to get some of these hoopties around here worked out and ready to go for the summer. There's actually a cruise-in tonight that there's no way I'm gonna make. I've got some prior engagements, but these things are starting to happen every weekend, and well, that has problems, and that has problems, that has problems. And I won't even go outside to show you the rest of the vehicles with problems, but those are the main three that I like to get out and cruise around in the summer with anyway. So I'm gonna spend some time today, and maybe even some tomorrow, get some things taken care of. What are we doing? So on the Datsun, if you've never seen the Datsun before, I've got a bunch of videos out there on it. This is a 1971 Datsun 521 pickup. It has the little 1.6 liter inline 4-cylinder. It's a manual transmission, 2-wheel drive, and it gets more looks and more compliments than anything else I think I've ever driven. It's unbelievable how many people are drawn to this little truck. We call it Floyd. We call it Floyd because the original owner of the truck's name was Floyd. Apparently he had bought it new. He was an old seed farmer, and apparently he kept it basically all of his life. So I think his kids sold it to somebody else, and then I got it. So what's that, 3 owners or something like that? Anyway, it's a local truck. The truck's been here in this area its entire life. It was bought new somewhere around here. What Floyd's getting today is a little bit of love on the brakes, and we're gonna do some fluid checks. I've already changed the oil. I changed the oil actually in the spring. I probably should have videoed that, but who hadn't seen an oil change? Pretty easy. But the brakes. So this rear brake back here on the driver's side is sticking, and when you're coming down a gravel driveway or whatever, as soon as you barely apply the brakes, it just sticks. It wants to be grabby. Either there's a wheel seal leaking or there's an axle seal leaking. I have a feeling it's going to be a wheel cylinder seal. I think that's hard to say. I have a feeling that's what's leaking because I keep having to top off brake fluid in the thing. I don't know why I'm having to do that because it's not leaking it anywhere. So the only thing I can figure is maybe it's just kind of seeping over time or something like that. Maybe saturating those brake linings or shoe linings, and it's grabbing. I don't know. We're going to find that out anyway. I bought 2 new wheel cylinders and a set of brake shoes for it, and hopefully we won't find out that we need brakes on all 4 corners, because if I recall, when I first had this thing apart, the brakes were freshly done. I mean, within 6 months or so done. So all the brake hardware and all that stuff looked to be completely brand new. So hopefully we won't run into any problems. Anyway, let's get this thing up in the air and let's have a look at the brakes first. Parking brakes on. Well, as are most drums. Here, you can't see me. Now you can see me. As are most drums, this one seems to be pretty well stuck. And since I can't feel the brakes dragging at all on this, I'm pretty sure it's not stuck on the shoe. Sometimes the shoe will cut a groove in this, and the shoe will be sitting, up so far it won't be dragging, but there's a ridge on the inside it can't come past. But typically they're either rusted here on the back sides of these, rusted to the actual axle flange, or they're rusted around these lug studs, or they're rusted right around this right here. But in my case, you can see that right there. That's either pure silver or it's anti-seize. I'm hoping for the latter. Well, no, actually I'm hoping it's pure silver. Hell with it, if it's stuck, it's pure silver, I'll buy another truck. So what I'm gonna do is, on the back sides of here, got little notches. I'm gonna try to just gently persuade them. Man, for something with anti-seize on it, pretty serious. Wow. Well, there is quite a bit of debris in there. I would say that those, as dark as those are, I think those things are definitely definitely bad. What's up with this down here? Why does that slide? Is that supposed to do that? For a little irrigation here. Well, the thing to do is just take good pictures of all this before you tear it apart, because these are not as standard as some. And yeah, I've got a set of brake tools, some brake shoe tools, but honestly, I just kind of always do it this way. I don't know why. Yeah, I think these have been leaking. I think that's where all of my problems are coming from, right there. Well, I got new wheel cylinders, so let's see if they're the right ones. So these these wheel cylinders are from AC Delco. Not exactly what's known for the import market, huh? Those look to be the same, at least at first glance, they look to be the same. So we've got 4 nuts to pull off the back, and then the line itself. I don't know where the bleeder is on this. I don't see that at all. Well, I think I see how that works back there. That's why there was no bleeder, because it looks like the line itself actually goes into this block, and this block actually has probably a bolt that goes all the way through that. Like, was that a banjo bolt, I guess? Kind of? No, not a banjo. Anyway, there's a name for that bolt. And then the bleeder's up there on that end, which means that it looks like maybe we don't have to pull the line, possibly. We'll see. I wonder if this has like a copper washer between it to seal that up. Sure does. 1 copper washer. It's about to fall. Can I just bend this thing up out of the way a little bit? Like that. I guess it's just a matter of tapping it out, right? There. That's the wheel cylinder. That has some markings on it there. It has an L and a 0104. I don't know what any of that means, but it doesn't look, I don't think it looks original, but what do I know? Is it gonna actually fit up there? Oh, sure is. Good. It even came with new nuts and lock washers. All right, those 4 are back on there, and they've been torqued to whatever the factory spec is. That's what they are. And we're gonna put this brand spanking new washer on here. And again, there's not enough room for the both of us, so I'll screw that back in, and I'll be right back. So that's it, back together. I haven't opened the bleeder screw yet, but I may open it just, you know, to let it kind of gravity bleed for a few seconds here. Hey, you other Datsun guys out there, especially somebody like Mike at Blue Hands, what is the deal with this right here? This this adjuster, it slides back and forth. And I checked the other 4 corners, and they slide too. That's weird. Is that maybe how it makes its adjustments or something like that? It just seems like an awful lot for it to slide. I have the service manual for this thing, and I was just kind of looking at it, and it shows how it goes back together. Of course, the picture's ugly, but it doesn't say anything about that thing sliding, at least that I can find. It just shows to put it together, and has a couple of clips that go opposite ways behind it. That's all it's got. It's got everything on it. It just seems awfully strange to me that it would be like that. But I don't know, maybe it is. Anyway, back together we go. We'll see how it works. All right, let's try to guess how these go back together. I remember that this is the parking brake, so that goes up there. I went ahead and cleaned the inside of this out with a abrasive stone. Hopefully it won't become a problem. Well, the shoes are open too far. I don't know if it's because this is opened more than the other one or what, but I don't think I have any adjustment left, do I? It actually seems like it fits okay at the bottom. It just doesn't fit very well at the top. All right, so that may be an issue right there. Well, the brake shoes fit fine, but the shoes are spread apart too far for the drum to go on there. They're adjusted all the way in, and they won't fit. So I'm kind of looking and taking some measurements. It looks like up here is where it's spread too far, because the bottom seems like it kind of wants to go, but the top is just, I mean, I'm hitting the actual meat of the shoes themselves. So was looking at this, and up here where this hole is to here on the old shoe is about 11 millimeters. But on one of these, it is, I don't know, about 16 millimeters. So I think what's going on is, I think these shoes just have more material up here than the other ones. So we know what we're gonna do to fix this, don't we? Okay, let's put them back together. This is roughly how they go back. Maybe this reference will help somebody else. The right shoe has the emergency brake control, or the parking brake control. So that goes in this top hole up here, like that. And then there's a washer that goes on. I don't think mine's a factory washer, but it's a washer. Then we have this little clip that goes on and retains it like so. So the shoe will sit up here something like this. The next thing we're going to put on here are the spring retainer clips, and they consist of a bottom cup, a spring, and a top cup. And you notice that top cup is dished inward. I guess you can see that it's dished inward. And the idea is this pin here goes through the back, comes all the way through, and locks to hold it in place. We'll put this through there. And with these, you can put these on by hand. If this were like my Ford truck outside or something like that, you couldn't do that. But basically you just turn and pop them in place. Next part is going to be this little bottom spring here. It goes on this little thing right here, and then we can just grab some pliers and ease it over there and put it in place. And that should pull that back up pretty close to where it's supposed to go. Now I've got the camera right in front of me. I don't know if I can do this without making a mess or not, but we have this big old spring here. It hooks, this hook goes that way, and this hook goes this way. So just slip it in behind the flange there, and it hooks in that hole there. Next thing is going to be our spreader bar, and our spreader bar has that one long place on it, and that's the side that goes over to where the emergency brake is, which is right here. So we'll just stick that up there like that, let it hang. And then this is the only real fiddly part of the whole process. This little spring end back here, it's unhooked over here, but this little spring end back here needs to hook in the back side of this. So we need to push that spring in that hole and let it hook through. So let me see if I can do it without destroying the camera or knocking everything loose. I'll just pick all this up and try to feed it through there. There's that. I did hit the camera, sorry about that, but couldn't be avoided. need to make sure that our shoes actually fall in here. Okay, they're supposed to. Next, we're going to have the same spring retainer system that we had over there, over here. There's that one. This spring is going to go down in the bottom, and it's going to hook between here and here. So from this side, maybe I should clean that spring off some. It's going to go in there. I'll use just a pair of vice grips. Uh-oh, that exploded. So I touched that spring and it exploded with a vengeance. And what's going on here is I had to go to the vise and fix this, but this this pin here that goes through and turns and sits like that is supposed to, you know, be retained right there. But what has happened is over time it has pulled through a whole new cross section there. So this thing really needs a brake hardware kit. I'm going to get on and try to find one of those. But for now, this is really the only way I'm going to get it off my lift, is just try to go with it and make it work the best I can. I think this one right here is starting to do it a little bit too, but either way, I think that right there is going to stay somewhat anyway. Okay, well that should be the shoes back together. Will the drum go on? That's the question. Oh, it sure will. Look at that. Excellent. What are we hitting there? Oh, we're not all the way seated, are we? That's what it is. All right, so basically in order to tighten these, I need to go from the back and I need to do what? I need to push down. Yeah, I need to push. So yeah, it needs to go down in order to expand. So once I get this thing back together, I can go back there and get them adjusted out. Honestly, that's pretty good right there. I can feel them dragging. Maybe we should put the tire back on and see what we've got. So I guess we probably should check some fluids in this thing while we're at it. I promise it's not that bad. I do this about once a year. Whoop, whoop, we got plenty. Clean up on aisle 4. Yeah, I'll stop looking at my rear end. Now let's try the transmission next. Say that one was absolutely tight. I had to take out the cheater bar and pop that off. Pretty sure I did this last year. Well, nobody's coming out. Hook another little finger in there. Yep, we're good. It's right below the bolt line, or the hole there, so. All right. One feature these Datsuns had that some of the other vehicles didn't, it's whenever you wash the outside of the window, it kind of automatically washes the inside. Neat. We also got to pay attention to this interior too. It's getting kind of icky. Lost a brake pedal, dirty junk in the floor, stretched out seat cover. I'll pull it out of the way and let it dry off for a few minutes, and then we'll put a coat of patina on it. Well, now that it's all nice and clean, I'm going to go ahead and put some of this sweet patina on here. It had a coat on it last year, and you can tell it's starting to finally kind of wear off. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it, you can see, but this stuff is pretty awesome. I saw the guy over at Puddin's Fab Shop. I watched him for a bunch of Datsun content and stuff, and I guess he sponsored from him, and he did this to a couple of his, and man, I'm telling you, love how it looks. Also wouldn't mind trying the Vice Grip Garage's Shine Juice, see what that looks like. That's supposed to be some pretty good stuff too. Anyway, one thing's for sure, whoever's in charge of the smells department over there, they hitting on all cylinders. All right, let's shine it up. No right or wrong way to do this, just kind of wipe it on. Well, there you go. Cleaned up, shined up, ready for summer. Guys, I really appreciate you watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about us. Guys, I'll see you next time.